Welcome back to Ballet Marvel and the fourth ballet video I will be filming. This one is about flight patterns and the statement. Both are ballets choreographed by Crystal Pite, who is a phenomenal talent, who is definitely a choreographer you should be watching because god damn can that woman choreograph a good ballet. So I'm going to start with flight patterns. I really should have looked up what the correct name was, and I didn't, and that's on me. So it's either, I believe it's flight patterns, I think. Okay, so flight pattern is perhaps the most powerful ballet ever made. It's a ballet everyone should see. It's Crystal Pite's response to the refugee crisis in the world today. There aren't any named characters. The ballet uses dance to explore the refugee experience, and it's one of the only ballets that actually made me cry. It's just a very powerful, very well done ballet. And yeah, it's one of those ballets you really need to see and experience. I hope some company makes it available. I really hope the Royal Ballet makes it available at some point, because it's just it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's definitely something you should seek out. The refugees in the world today have it very tough, and we really should be doing more for them, and we're not. And yeah, this ballet really brings you into that experience, and it's very powerful. I'm going to include rehearsals in the blog, the links to rehearsals and links to clips. I highly recommend you look them up. It's definitely well worth watching. Yeah. So that was, and to hear Crystal Pite talk about it is really interesting too. I really love artists who use their medium to explore things that they're trying to comprehend and they're trying to process. And yeah, that's what Crystal Pite did with flight patterns. And I was lucky enough to see it when the Royal Ballet was streaming it during the pandemic. And like I said, it really moved me. It made me cry. It made me look up more information for how to help. So yeah, it's definitely something. As I mentioned, Joseph Sissons is phenomenal in it. So is Kristen McNally. Marcelino Sambe also just wow. Every dancer who took part in this production brought their all, and it makes for a very powerful ballet experience, and a very powerful experience in general. So yeah, flight patterns is definitely something you should look up if you enjoy ballet. The statement, which I saw recently, I cannot remember. I think it was streaming. Yeah, it was streaming. I caught a stream of it, and it was one of those ballets that it's one of those stories I really like, where it's like, it's not straight up horror, but there's just something that makes you very uneasy. And there's something that kind of like gets under your skin, and it's just like, I don't know the entire story of what's happening here, but I know it's not good. And I know some bad shit is gonna happen. It creeped me out. And I'm a horror fiend. I fucking love all things horror. It's very, very hard for a story to scare me or unsettle me or something like that. This thing creeped me out. The statement creeped me out. There's just something so eerie about it. So the statement is basically, you have 4 dancers, and there's a voiceover. So you're hearing dialogue, but the dancers aren't the ones speaking. They're kind of like dancing to the dialogue, in a manner of speaking. I'm doing a great injustice to this ballet. So like there's dialogue that you hear, and then you see these dancers kind of reacting to it, and it's a very unsettling story. Um, there's been some, so basically the story is there's been some kind of catastrophe, or they've exacerbated, or they've made a war or a conflict worse. These two characters are who probably work for a company that's doing some shady shit. So something's gone very wrong, and the people responsible have to compose a statement for the record. That's a phrase you hear over and over, for the record, and there's great emphasis put on whether something is on the record or off the record, and it's really it's just kind of got a little bit of a chill up my spine. So Calvin Richardson, oh my god, Calvin Richardson was born to play the role of the smarmy company man. He excels at smarm. It's great. And he's just this morally dubious character who obviously thinks he's better than everybody in that room, but doesn't want to like, he's better than everybody in that room, but he's also good at playing the kind of game they're playing. So, yeah, he's like, you don't want to say that. You want to say this. Well, we weren't responsible for that. On the record, off the record. I mean, he is just unbelievable. Like, he's phenomenal. Oh my god, it's so much fun watching him be so slimy. It really is. So McNally is probably the most unsettling character in this play, or in this ballet, because you think you have her character down, and you don't realize you don't know what her character's purpose is until she reveals her hand, and she doesn't reveal her hand until the perfect moment. And what's really great is watching her and how the power dynamics just shift so suddenly. It's just like it leaves you kind of like stunned, like, what just happened? What? I mean, it's just like, damn, she was playing everybody in that room like a fiddle. And the entire ballet is so intense. It's really intense. And the shift in power dynamics, you don't see it coming, and it just hits you. I've mentioned before, Joseph Sisson's character and, oh gosh, what's her name? A newer dancer, Ashley Dean, I believe her name is. I could be wrong, and I apologize if I am. They are kind of the people who have to compose the statement, because they're kind of the ones who are to blame, I think. Or they were kind of like in the thick of what happened. And the woman is like, no, we did something wrong. We need to fix this. And at first, Joseph Sissons is with her, where he's like, yeah, we need to fix this. And then as the ballet progresses, it's like he suddenly is like, well, maybe there's another way we can do this. And you see that tiny, minuscule shift in his morality, and it's just shocking, because it's like, no, go back to what you were thinking before. And yeah, it's like these characters, their morality is so gray, and I struggle to find the words, because it's just so intense, and it's so creepy, and it's like, you can see a conversation like this happening in the real world. Like, there's no doubt in my mind it does happen in the real world. But seeing it so nakedly in a ballet is just, whoa, not something I expected. Crystal Pite does vague incredibly well. And I think one of the strengths of the statement is the way it uses vagueness. and it uses it masterfully. It's not like haphazardly like a lot of people use vagueness. Like I've probably used vagueness before. Um, it's very masterful, and it helps add to the unsettling atmosphere of the ballet. Um, this is another ballet that really needs to be experienced. Um, yeah, I can't do it justice because it's something else. And again, I'm going to include links to rehearsals, which I highly recommend you look up because this is another really great. These two ballets, Flight Pattern and The Statement, are some of my favorite ballets. Yeah, they're phenomenal, and they're definitely worth looking up. So that's it for Flight Pattern and The Statements. Thanks. Bye.